All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.co's daily brief. I got to tell you, everybody, I'm just absolutely overwhelmed by the positive. It's almost like we have like this PMA vortex that every once in a while it just pops up, and it's just I get just flooded with this massive wave of PMA, and it hit me hard today. We just finished up the level 1 program, and the direct anecdotal evidence of people, this information changing people's lives and really making them feel a lot better about who they are and where they're going in their lives. And of course, you know, this translating into seeing the market clearly. I got hit between the eyes big time today. It's just beautiful. But actually, there was a, oh, here we go, getting a little verklempt. I won't get too deep into this. But I was tweeting out this morning that some of the feedback that's coming back from people and, you know, our clarity and our market message. Thomas and I were talking about this morning. We're in such a beautiful headspace here. Every single day, we're seeing the market clearly. We're articulating the message. And I got to say, everybody, it's a beautiful thing what's happening here at TRI. It's really, really beautiful. And of course, on top of it, a whole bunch of people are making a crap load of money already off of these coins starting to perk up. Simply just following all the shit that we teach on the site. It's fucking awesome. So won't go into too much of a rant this morning. Great to see site participation still very high. I kind of get the feeling that we made it through the shitstorm, everybody. So give yourself a big pat on the back for not blowing yourself up through that mess and surviving the bear. And I get the funny feeling we're setting the table for one hell of a summer rally here, guys. Get ready. It's a guy like Innie. Oh my God, how many more millions do you need, Innie? So it'd be interesting to see like Innie, like, oh yeah, Jeremy. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a head of steam behind us here that Jeremy's going to be vindicated for all his bullish calls. So way to go, dude. I even noticed this morning, and I was even tweeting it out, that Grim is just such a, I'm so privileged to be surrounded by you people that are excellent demonstrators of best practices. So later on in the show, if we're lucky, we'll get Grim to tell us all about his little bot trade that he took on Bitcoin, rocking that market. I myself have been talking to you guys lately that I've been, at TRI, we've been sort of swing trading this little OMG. Got off a really nice trade last night, and it's working nicely for us this morning. So, by all means, lots of trade ideas out there. That one was a bit bigger one because, this is Sjord's favorite coin. We had actually bought into the name and sold half of it when it doubled the first go round up top here. And so we simply went and bought his coins back. But again, demonstration of best practices, good behavior. That was a W. It was as plain as day. We had lots of internal indicators suggesting rah bull. And when the signal fired, Brian stepped up and pulled the trigger. And that's, really that's what we have to do here is we have to demonstrate to new people to trading best practices. So I was pleased to see that's working away for us. I suppose without further ado, we should probably bring him in. How you doing here this morning, Mr. Bear?
Good morning. Doing pretty well.
Good.
How are you?
Always better when I see you and talk to you. Thomas and I were having just a little PMA session before we got going here this morning, and I got to tell you, some of the stuff that is happening on this site, it brings an old man like me to tears. It's beautiful. We finally got Thomas to actually give us a musical intro, so everybody got to enjoy a piece of Thomas's music this morning before we got that going. All I see on your screen is one great big, and I guess because you're using Jeremy's script, it's like a yellow dildo, not a green dildo. Wow, that's that thing's gone right off your screen. What's going on there? Look at your Bollinger Bands. Is that what we call a breakout in the Bollinger Bands?
I think they opened up. I think that's a good, I think this is a good indication that the Bollinger Bands have opened. Yes.
All right, so we're looking at your screen. I don't know, where do you feel like taking us this morning, sir?
Well, I guess since we're already here, let's start out with the good news. Obviously, last night or early this morning, I guess it was, looks like 7 o'clock in the New York kill zone. Price just went straight up. It was a roughly $1,000-point move, $1,000 move, and now we're consolidating. I know last night and yesterday we were talking about these levels here, potentially 78.6 being a reversal zone. I was hunting shorts through last night. No surprise, I'm a bear. But what happened last night is this M never came in the way that I like it. I talk about having candle body closes below the first hump of the M. So since this candle body close was slightly above, I couldn't take that. And moreover, I didn't like how these bands started to squeeze inward. This looked dangerous, at least. When you start to see the Bollinger Bands catching up and they haven't squeezed into a channel, it doesn't mean that it's ready to at least have a big move to one side or the other. You can see that we kept testing these upper bands here, and then of course, you test the lower bands, and that was almost your buy sign if you wanted to take it. This was a tougher one to get into without the market structure here. I did not hit this long on leverage, but it's nice to see that this did come in overnight. And I think, Grim, you had a bot on Bitcoin that you took. I don't mean to put you on the spot if you're not ready to come on, but
No,
do you mind talking?
I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Here, let me go over there and share my screen.
I can just throw, there's the chart on my screen if you want.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's up to you. I mean, we love seeing your pretty face. So
there we go. There you get best of both worlds, guys. So this was a trade on the, this is what I call a Leanne special. This is the LJ setup, right? We had a break of that trend line. We didn't make a proper W after that. You'll notice that first movement up, at least in RSI, we didn't get the kind of W that I want to see. And we didn't really get that until just before I entered the trade. And we did confirm a W in price action. We had a W in RSI. And I set my entry, and I do this pretty often, where I put my bid at the candle body low of the candle that confirmed the W in price action.
Candle body low, and this is on the MEX contract, a 4 hour?
On the 4-hour chart on the XSP M18 29th contract.
And is this the perpetual swap, or is this?
No, this is the perpetual swap that's way on there. But what I traded on there, and what I am moving to almost always trading on, is the quarterly contract. So XBT M18 will take you there.
Your audio is a little choppy here today, Chief.
Let me fix that. Hold on a second. I think it's maybe.
So that was XBT, and then which contract? The June?
Yeah, June 29th.
Oh, there you go. Hey, he's alive. He's alive.
Yeah, that's the contract there.
Okay.
And let's see, the data entered that was on.
This is a beautiful, look at this. I mean, W within a W within a W. It just keeps going, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
is that the W you're talking about here?
It was actually before that. I got it on. Let me just share my screen. It's probably easier for me to show it rather than you draw it all out. All right, so if you can put me on presenting there.
Yep, I think I am, but we'll go boom. All right.
That's the daily. Let me move over to the 4.
Look at those W's. Jesus, W's everywhere.
Oh yeah, all over the place. All right, so let me blow this up a little bit.
And so are you finding that these futures contracts are liquid?
Yeah, they are. I don't really have a problem getting fills at all on them. At least, so usually they have two quarterly contracts in place at any given time. So you have the one on June 29th, and we have September's in place too. Right now, September's is going to be a little thin. And it usually is until about the as you get into the last half of the last month, so the middle of June, that's when the liquidity on that will start coming up as people move their positions over to that contract.
Okay.
But usually by the time the contract by the time we've entered the month that the previous contract is finished, the liquidity is fine on the next contract. So I haven't had any problems with liquidity. It used to be the case that we did. A couple of years ago, if you were trading on quarterlies on BitMEX, it was really hard to do setups because it was hard to get fills.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been the case for at least last year. So what I was showing is, so we had this W here, and it confirmed on this bar, on the 9 o'clock bar here. And so I actually set a bid at the bottom of that confirming bar. And I'll do that to get in on a trade if I don't have a gap or something like that to get in on. I'll often set my bid at the bottom. If it's a bullish,
hold on a second. They're saying that YouTube died here.
Uh-oh.
So we had, if I don't have a gap or something like that to get in on,
see.
I'll often set my bid at the
We might just go.
Hold on a second.
YouTube seems fine, Brian.
Okay, you're finding it's okay?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, in the lounge, quite a bit of feedback here that it's working. So maybe it's just your personal connection. I just saw a whole bunch of comments there, and so okay, so they're saying it came back on refresh. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, sir. Go ahead.
No worries. So I put the bid in here just at the bottom of that candle body. You see the candle body here, right? And that's where he came up and filled this. The wick actually comes up here. It was a little weaker than I wanted. I only got in here for 2% because I would have liked to see the candle body above that wick.
Yeah.
And it came up on the next bar, but and so technically, I mean, I could have filled on the bottom of this, but I already had my bid in down on this lower part, so I just left it. We often revisit the candle, the full range of the candle that created the W, at least what I've seen.
Oh, that's good journal shit.
So if we have a W, I'll go in at the bottom of that candle body. You won't usually go to the wick or the tail, but I will usually go to the candle body. And I'll do the same thing in reverse. If it's a bearish entry, I'll enter at the top of the candle body of the candle that completes the structure.
That's fucking cool, man.
And so sure enough,
get down.
Sure enough, I got filled a couple bars later. So it took about 8 hours. Remember, this 4 hours. So it took about 8 hours before I got filled. If I had gotten filled, wouldn't have been in the trade. That's fine. But I got filled. We consolidated for a bit, and then while I was sleeping, vroom. As soon as I got up this morning, I had my alert because I set alerts on the range here. Even though this isn't a bot setup, like I said, I've taken to just using the bot stop control for all my setups.
Smart.
So we move stop to break even here. By break even, I actually mean the 25%. So my stop's currently at the 25%. So I've actually locked in some profits. And if we get up to 66, I'll start trailing. And of course, if we get up here, I'm going to close up. We have, I didn't get an alert on it. Looks like we hit it, but maybe we're just short of it. We must be just a tick short of it because I haven't gotten an alert on it yet.
Okay.
I bet you if I blew in there, it looks like we're just barely shy of it. So as soon as I get that alert, then I'll start trailing up. Not a lot of room to trail on 3 lows because of this big giant candle, but we'll see what we get. I'll probably, when I do, so I've described this before, I have a daily, a 4-hour, and a 1-hour shown on my chart. When I'm doing trailing, if I don't have the structure in the 4-hour, I might drop down to the 1-hour, but I suspect that big candle's just as big there.
Good question. Kevin's asking.
I didn't see that.
How do you come up with your target? Like, why are you setting the 100% where you are?
Let me scroll this out, and you'll be able to see. This is a trend line break setup. So we go back to the 50% retracement on that of the full move down. Excellent. So we had this full move down here. That's exactly where it is. It's the 50% Gann level retracement of that full range.
So hopefully that helps you answer that question, Kevin. Really, we're going to come up with price targets. I love using that 50% rule. It's nice and simple. It's not too aggressive, right? Just conservative.
We very often hit it. Yeah, absolutely.
And then he takes the bot levels, and that's all they are in this case. They're just levels, just to help him try and manage himself while he's in the trade.
And you'll notice that using these bot levels too, even if we go up to a first stop, if you're going to the 50%, even if you get to a first stop, you will already be locking in profits.
Yeah.
So it just works really stunningly well with that. So that's my trade.
I think this trade was pretty well telegraphed. It's just a question of you being ready, willing, and able to pull the trigger when the levels come in. And that's what I'm most impressed with you here. And, your demonstration of the bot on the crude and stuff is I absolutely love, and please, everybody who's watching this, new people to the site, Grim is demonstrating what actually usually the major hurdle that most new people to trading encounter. And that is, okay, well, I've got this information. Now, can I execute? And Grim here is demonstrating how to execute. And it's tough. This is a hard part of this process to learn, but hats off, sir. Very impressed. Very, very impressed.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the trade in a nutshell. I'll let you guys get back to your daily broadcast. And
dude, you are part of the daily broadcast.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not.
Fair enough. There's one other thing I wanted to say here. I mentioned this I mentioned it a couple of times, and we do need to do the video on it. But when I got in here, I did this at 10 times. That gave me enough range, doing 10 times leverage, to handle this full range of risk. Once I got up here and set my stop up here, I moved my leverage to 100 times and put in a withdrawal request to withdraw the remaining money off the exchange. So I'm not even going to have that exposure come tomorrow morning when they process that. So
pro, dude. So pro. And if anything, I don't know what the rest of your day looks like, but Thursday is usually a bit quiet for me. So maybe later on this morning, you and I can get together and do that video we've been talking about. But
that'd be good. Yeah, I think I have time today. So
it's entirely up to your schedule. So hats off.
Yeah.
Very professional. Great demonstration of best practices. And I'm honored to have you part of our group, Grim. Way to go, dude.
It's a great group to be part of. All right, guys.
Hugs and kisses.
Talk to you later.
Okay, Mr. Bear, where shall we go next? Do we want to call you Mr. Bear if Bitcoin's rallying here? Do you want to be known as the Bear? Well, I don't know whether. Oh, looks like Mr. Bear's fighting with his microphone. Those big paws, I swear. I can imagine. Oh, there he goes. I think
Bears have to hibernate too, to get up energy for the good season.
It's true. I mean, I already went into hibernation. I forgot that I was talking to a muted microphone. Having a whole conversation by myself.
Well, you're back. All right, sir. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I wanted to take a look at Grim, did you show your bigger time frame retracement levels? Not to bring you back here.
I think we got a nod out of him, so I think so.
Okay, so I wanted to show the Coinbase levels. I know that Grim was using...
I did. Sorry, I was doing you and talking to my mic muted. So.
Yeah, so you took the bigger range. You took from the highs at roughly 20,000 down to these lows at 6,000 and change. So I'm going to be using a little bit of a different method for my retracement. So when we're starting to form the preliminary stages of a bottom here, and we're starting to change direction, I think, and in my experience here with trading these markets that start to go on the upside, after completing their downside move, especially on a large range all the way up to 20 grand, is that I'm not comfortable at least entering in on a trade that'll have a target, say, at 38.2, which, if you can see my screen on Coinbase here, 38.2 would put us at 10,900. Now, I like to trade in a different style. I'm going in and out of positions. I won't be holding my position for that long. Now, maybe I want to reconsider that here with this changing and this retracement starting to happen, where I could enter a leverage long, kind of like what Grim did here, get in on this early, so that I could hold a 10x leverage long for a week, 2 weeks, or whatever, and not have to be worried about getting liquidated like I would have to if I didn't get in on this move early enough. So for example, if I take my fibs all the way up to this 19,000 high, my 38.2 or first stop Ray Barbecue level is 11,500 here on Coinbase. And that corresponds really well with the last area of traffic where we broke down from 11,000 and made these lows here at 6,000 and change. So let's play around with that. And the problem really here is, and the reason why I'm using Coinbase charts is because, quite frankly, OKCoin is broken. I have to use a low at 47.5. So for me, my fib retracements, I'm going to have to manually go in and kind of ignore what happened here and use the contract settlement they used in this area. So I can go back to that later. I don't want to waste people's time by using those levels, but instead I'm going to use Coinbase to illustrate this point. And the point being is that if I wanted to get in on this long here, on a leverage long, what I would do is I would try to enter in on a retracement back to this neckline, go 10x leverage long, and risk all the way up to 11,500, hold the position for as long as I wanted. Now, if it doesn't go back down to that level, what I'm going to be doing is taking a different Fibonacci retracement level, and that is that 11,500 level, which of course is again the 38.2, and move that lower and use that as my measurement, because I think there's a lot of upward resistance and we're going to be oscillating a little bit around these areas as we continue to go higher. There we go.
I put out a tweet this morning, just looking at the very short term. Here's just my chart. And hopefully everybody can see the very repetitive nature of what we do here. I really don't think it's a good idea to chase. And if you're looking for new entries and trying to get in on this, I really like this 7,000 area, because that basically is the previous structural breakout level and good old 78.6. So on the shorter term, I can completely understand what Thomas is saying. Totally makes sense to me.
Absolutely. Also, I misunderstood when you asked earlier. I actually came down off the about $12,000 top there. That's actually what it came down for the trend line break that I did.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I think we were operating off the same range, actually.
Gotcha. Good to know.
I'm a little worried that people are going to wake up and they're going to, you can see we're right at Thomas's trend line resistance there, and they're just going to go blindly buy this market. And, I could easily see we could do, look, if Thomas just leaves the screen on there, you can see the claw that price is trapped in. And we could easily play ping pong in this claw for a little while here. But it's just awfully nice to see these damn W's are finally confirming.
Yeah, it is. So I guess to summarize what I was trying to get at is that if you do want to go and take a longer term position, unfortunately, you're probably too late to be buying here, as we've said, and you want to wait for that retracement down to the neckline, as Brian highlighted earlier, as your entry. And then you can risk up to either that higher range 38.2 at 11,500, or you could take your profits at this smaller range, which goes up to 11,700, and you can risk the 38.2 around the 8,500 level, and then see what price does from there. And that all depends on your trading plans, right? Some people will sell everything at 38.2. Some people could use that as stop to trail. If you're trading bots, I'm sure that corresponds. Depending on where that's set up. For me, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hunting setups that will target that 38.2. I'm going to sell a third of my position at 38.2, and then I'm going to look to add on any kind of bounce off 38.2 and look for market structure W's to come in. I'm always hunting market structure W's along these key areas of the Fibonacci levels. 38.2, first test. If we put in an M there, I'm going to sell off probably more than a third of my position and look to re-add down here with any kind of W's that come in. Now, what I like to see after that 38.2 resolves higher is a tag of Mountain Man. And that's where I'm going to sell another third of my position going forward here. And then, of course, depending on market structure, the rest of my position I'm going to let go at 78.6 and reevaluate what we're doing there. Because I think that given this 4-hour chart and given the state of the market, I would be really surprised if this thing just jets all the way up to $12,000 in the next couple of days. And I like to trade these kind of bounces because on leverage, I mean, right now I believe it's a $700 move is going to give me an 100% return. So at 7,600, if we go up to 8,300, I made 100%.
Yeah, and also too, I would just note Steven was in the lounge earlier this morning. He's a fucking harmonic just guru. And I don't know whether you can see on my screen, I've been watching this harmonic on the Japanese market like a hawk here for about the past month. And the first rule of thumb for harmonic traders, just as Thomas mentioned there a moment ago, is their initial target is always a 38.2 tag here. So just as and frankly speaking, Grim got the level. Fucking A, way to go, dude. You can't chase now. If the market does give us the opportunity to get back in where Grim got in, great. And it's interesting. Change Society just pointed out, kind of like what Grim's talking about. If I suppose we could work our bid off of the candle body low here, I don't know whether that's the same logic as you're thinking, Grim. But this thing might just go chung 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 straight up to that 38.2, and if you miss the trade, too bad. But actually, if anything, what I'm going to be doing off the lower time frames now is I'm going to be hunting bot setups to see if this is a trend continuation up into this level, because that's what I think will probably happen here. But yeah, interesting. Thomas making reference to that 38.2, and there's just a basic rule of thumb in harmonic trading land that your profit objective, the very first one, should be 38.2 tag. So I just want to throw that in there too. Sorry.
No, that's great.
And I guess that's 84.63 on your market there. Yeah,
that's Coinbase. Again, my hands are tied here on the upside because of this stupid chart that and all the nonsense that happened at OKCoin last week.
Yeah, I did see some funny tweets from them this morning saying they were trying to clean themselves up. But did anybody catch that they were saying something? I can't remember what it was.
I've got an announcement from them that they're moving to Malta.
Oh goodness, I thought they wanted to go. Oh no, who is it? Phoenix is going to Switzerland. These guys are going to Malta now.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, right? A lot of the guys that came from OKCoin a lot of the guys that went to Binance came from OKCoin. So it's not surprising that they probably still have ties to OKCoin or OK Exchange, whatever the hell they're calling themselves here.
Where's the Binance guys? Don't they want to go to Malta too? Isn't that
right? That's exactly what this is all about. Is that Binance paved the way here? They made the negotiations with the government, and whether I don't know if the tail wags the dog or the dog wags the tail here with Binance versus OK Exchange, but they paved the way here. And OK Exchange is also going to be moving to Malta because of the people that used to work for them that now work for Binance. So the two of them are definitely playing together in this move here.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to see what you're talking about for OK Exchange. The latest announcements is they just have something about self-sell token suspended, new token pairs launched in token margin trading. That's interesting. They've got Quantum is on margin, IOST, And did they add anything else? No, that looks.
Are you
so the
trading much Litecoin on OKCoin these days? Do you trade any of that?
No, I really only like trading Bitcoin on margin here, and any kind of Litecoin trading I'm doing just on U.S. dollars and not on margin.
Okay, just curious. Okay, you know, there's a bazillion altcoins all just going crazy now. Do we want to move to altcoin land now, or what are we thinking?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I wanted to.
Do we want to talk stock market at all? Boring.
This is kind of a good segue. If we do feel like we want to go to stock market, anyone that was following the Long Island Iced Tea Company that decided to change their name to the Long Island or the Long Blockchain Corporation, NASDAQ just NASDAQ decided. No, the NASDAQ is delisting them. They got into a shitload of trouble. They had their CEO on CNBC trying to explain himself because he was being investigated by the SEC for, I don't think it was securities fraud, but for some other fraud where he and his family members purchased a lot of stock before changing their name to Long Blockchain Corporation. And essentially he's getting a lot of backlash and taking a lot of heat here. And this is kind of the ultimate punishment is boom, you're delisted, bye-bye.
Wow.
So that's what's happening here. He's toast. You can actually find the interview. It's really, if you want to be uncomfortable for a while, you can watch this guy get interviewed. And it is just like, it made me cringe. It's like, I never, ever want to be in this man's position.
Basically, he got his hands caught in the cookie jar, eh?
Yeah, and I think your favorite lady, Maria Caruso Cabrera.
Oh fuck! They turned her loose on him.
Oh, he got grilled.
Oh boy. Oh goodness! And all the people that are like, "This stock market is sacred. This is holy ground," and all that kind of bullshit. Because some of these people, they are so fucking full of themselves when it comes to all that sort of, like Wall Street and CNBC, we're above the rest of you kind of bullshit. Oh god, they're just gonna shit on these people. But to be perfectly honest with you, this is the kind of stuff that, it was almost amateur hour in a way. But if he actually went and loaded up on stock ahead of that event, then yeah, he should be held account for that. That's bad karma. And he's going to lose his NASDAQ listing, eh? That's pretty big.
Yeah, I can't find the article here. I'll have to post it later.
I think probably.
All right, so you wanted to move.
A great analogy of CNBC is that Peter Brandt guy is in love with the older host of that. Did you guys see those tweets out this morning? So if anything, that's a great analogy. But anyway, all right. What's this? Binance prepares quarterly token burn. BNB price picks up.
Which is totally misleading. I don't know who the person who wrote this headline is, but she doesn't really look at daily charts, I don't think. But we'll get to that in a second. Essentially what's going on here is Binance in their BNB coin, they're going to be burning a bunch of them, and people like to see that. It's great for the price. But if I bring up this price chart here, and I was doing this on Monday's daily brief at the end, I had circled this histogram of the MACD, and this just looks, I don't normally see head and shoulders on a MACD. This is like a rare occurrence for me to see. And at this point on Monday, we were just kind of coming down and fractaling, and now we're making an M. So anyone who's in this coin, I mean, you can see the downside here. I would be really, really careful. And Willie's just starting to come down from being stupid. If I could short this would be a great position for me to get into. If anyone knows a way that I can short this, please let me know. This would be a great trade, but I don't think there's any way of doing that at the moment. There's no instruments available. So be careful if you haven't taken profits on this coin yet.
See that big green candle that sort of started this recent rally? Is there a little gap right there at the very beginning of that? Yeah, right there. Is there a gap right there?
Not according to the gap finder, no.
What is that? It says it closes at what? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but that looks like a red candle. Oh no, I guess it. Oh.
Well, I've got those funny candle colors too.
Yeah, it is. Oh, those aren't. Those are. Well, it looks.
Yeah,
anyway,
so-
if I was gonna have a technical target, my hunch is she's gonna head right back down into that area.
Yeah. You don't use this script, do you? Simple gaps?
Yeah, I think I got it on one of my screens. You guys, I mean, we probably ought to make a shout out to that. I have added a bunch of scripts to the library, and we had another one. And actually, I probably should give a shout out to this. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but for those people that are doing the basic, and here I'll show my screen. Those people that are doing the basic TradingView platform, people run into problems if they want to put on like 3 different moving averages, because it gobbles up the number of indicators that you can have on. And this person actually created a script that merges all 3 of these indicators into one indicator to try and save your sort of indicator list. So he calls it the EMA Hydra. So I threw that script. You're going to have to ask him for permission, but if you're a TRI person, I don't think it's a big deal. But you know, we got lots of Benjamins. We got Sen's scripts. Justin put together the Williams percentage R and OBV scripts. Tom's. There's Jeremy scripts. Oscar. I'd like to see Oscar again. I don't know. I hope he's doing okay. So if you do happen to have a script that you would like to add to the site so people can take advantage of your work, by all means, just PM me and I'll be more than happy to throw it in here. Or I see Benjamin's got a GitHub address as well. Instantly share code, notes, and snippets. Okay. Oh, I see. So that is that sort of plotting it all on one. I can throw that in the library too, Benjamin. It's up to you. But anyway, so I just wanted to make reference that there is a bunch of scripts, and I think we have the gap script in here, right? Sen's gap script. Is this what you're talking about?
Is that by Magpie?
Yeah, that's Sen.
Yep, that's it.
He's a fucking dude, man. And you know, all you level oneers, Sen's offers still floating out there. Show us an awesome score, and he'll pay for your course. Okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic there. All right, what do we want to? Is there anything else we want to show the good people here this morning?
I guess we'll cover one more news story that I scraped up, and that's the biggest ICO exit scam to date happened in Vietnam, $660 million. Just to put that into perspective, and I love bringing this up, is because when Mt. Gox collapsed, at the time, the losses were equivalent to $473 million. So this trumps that. Essentially what happened was, yeah, whoops.
Interesting times we live in. All right. So
I guess I
and
should
we're Vietnamese too, of all people to get screwed, eh? Oh, the State Bank of Vietnam, did they get into trouble here?
Yeah, they had 32,000 clients.
Wow. A 48% monthly return paid in local currency. Oh boy. You know, people, you know, and this probably goes without saying, but because all of you guys know this, but if it sounds too good to be true, people, it probably is, right? Hopefully, you know, especially like just silver members and stuff, you watch how much time and effort and work we all put into this. I mean, it is hard work, and it's mentally hard work too. You can make money from trading. Grim's perfect example, just fucking knocking the cover off the ball with his setups. But half of them are just, okay, well, the setup fires. Now I'm in the trade. I got to sit and just let my money work for me. And that is mentally difficult. So if you pull up a story, I guess that BitConnect was, I guess, kind of the same thing. If it just is, if they're promising you outlandish returns and it just is really easy, then you got to go, wait a minute. This can't be, it's not this easy to make money from trading. It is hard work. So, I guess when I see that, people saying, oh, 40% monthly returns, what the fuck, eh? That in itself is a warning for all of us to go, stay away.
Yeah.
But
I just want to add with the caveat, if you're using the TRI little old lady strategy, that these are normal returns. If you're doing them on your own, of course, controlling your own money with your own strategy to be able to get these kind of returns. But it's horrible that this kind of stuff is happening and people are getting taken advantage of. And unfortunately, I think it's bringing a lot of people into this space, and they're going to be, after something like this happens, they're going to be one of two people. The first being the person that never wants to participate in these again, or the second is the person who finds themselves wanting to get involved in the space, realize that they made a very stupid decision by not being well informed, and decide to seek guidance and to inform themselves so that they don't make that same decision. And I would hope that many of the people that enter the space are that latter group. And that's kind of what we want. We want to see more new people come in that are smarter, better, and don't, unfortunately, become victim to things like this. But nobody in our community, hopefully, was involved in this. If you are, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, but I didn't even know anything about this. So had you heard of this, Brian?
I know, it's totally news to me.
Yeah. So.
I don't even know what was it. It was called Ho Chi Minh Limited. That's what it was called. What was the name of the coin called?
Yeah, it was a Ho Chi Minh initial coin offering. Modern Tech.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. Vietnam's an interesting place, eh? I mean, they are ruthless capitalists in a weird sort of way. So it doesn't surprise me that those kind of scandals are coming out of there. You know, same thing with Korea, right? They can be just ruthless. So be careful, people. Please be careful. It's your hard-earned money. Don't just go giving it out willy-nilly to these people. I just happened to notice, I think it was Brian, posted in the lounge. Looks like he's banging off. You know, this is the kind of shit, like if you look at my screen, this is the kind of shit that we want to teach you. And really, it's not rocket science, but it's hard work. Just having the patience and discipline to wait for markets to come back down against previous lows, waiting for signs of, you know, look, we're getting actually some turns here. And then, of course, hunting your W's. And it looks like Brian banged off a really nice trade here. So way to go, Brian. Very impressive. And, of course, I'm seeing this lots on the site. And I have to give a shout out to all the fucking level oneers. Thomas and I were joking about it. I mean, you guys, in a weird sort of way, incredibly lucky. I mean, I hope a lot of level oneers that are watching this and stuff just went through the program. The very first thing we told you guys was, hey, your babies, put your money away. And over the past 2 or 3 months, there really wasn't anything to do in crypto. And now all you guys are finishing up the program. You're all working your asses off to get your course paid for by San. But the good part about it is that's going to make you really good. You're going to learn this stuff and you're going to know it. And the market is just sitting itself up on like a silver platter for you guys. You're so lucky. Here's another one that one of our site members, Kevin, got us encouraged in. But hopefully you can see the same logic. Right, market comes back down, bottom end of the range, back into value, starts putting in W's, and you can see, here we go, climbing the wall of worry. And the sad part about it is, guess when the public is going to get interested in this stuff, right? I mean, it's so cliche. So, you know, just build your plan, get your shit together, get it all in a nice pile, just get it together, and just get to work, because this stuff works. And I think we even told you recently, everybody, we said, you know, when the market does turn, you can't push a chain, but when it does turn, there's going to be so much money to be made. It's not even funny. And here's a really good example. You can see the turns at about 5, you know, even any of these thousands here. I could very easily see this be a 3x, 4x kind of trade. And you're not supposed to make that kind of money in the market. You're not supposed to make 400% return on your money. So let's take advantage of these windows while they persist and go out there and have a lot of fun, because the ideas are coming in now. All right. What do you feel? What should we look at next?
I was curious because I've seen Ethereum inching its way higher over the last couple of days, more so than Litecoin has been. And I'm right now trying to look back and see at what time did Ethereum break out versus Bitcoin. And I'm going to use Bitfinex here because we were looking over the last week that shorts were at all-time highs. And whenever that happens, and everyone's on one side of the proverbial boat here,
Shorts were at all-time highs?
Yes. Let me show you. I just cleared off the indicator on here, but I'll bring it back up. It's add symbol, BTC USD shorts, and that pops up overlaid on the screen. And then I can move that.
And this is like is this like on Finex or something? Yeah, on Finex.
Yeah, so this is data that Finex puts out. You can easily see the number of shorts and longs that are currently open on Bitfinex, and the TradingView gives you access to that information. You can throw that on a chart. Unmerge up.
It's pretty hard to see that red on the screen unless you make it bolder.
You got it. How about that?
Much better.
All right, so you can see here, these are the shorts. I mean, the last time these were that high, doesn't even seem like they have the data. So this was kind of broadcasting, hey, what the hell's going on here? Why are these at all-time highs and prices in a reload zone? Mr. Public, I think you have the idea wrong here. It's almost like a COT report. It's just the sentiment. This is what retail's doing. And sure enough, retail's getting hammered here.
Oh, very interesting.
That's a great analogy. I love that.
Yeah.
So it's a really good contrarian indicator.
For sure. I mean, you can see this across any market. If anybody listens to Macro Voices, Eric Townsend was talking about maybe a month ago that the short oil trade was extremely crowded, that too many people were going short. And he said, I almost want to put in a long position just to be contrarian. And sure enough, I think it was 2 days after the fact, oil just broke up higher and a whole bunch of shorts got squeezed out. And that's the same thing that's happening here, or already happened here. This is what happens when you see too many people on one side, especially when you can get access to data like that. You could almost use this as a fourth reason for your trading. If you wanted to use, hey, break of the neckline, shorts at all-time highs, I really think the sentiment here is wrong, and the public is just, as always, on the wrong side, and it just sucks. But hey, we can use their psychology and the way that they're thinking of the market to our advantage. And I sure as hell bet that the institutional investors were taking advantage of that.
Yeah, cool. Be interesting to see what did the price action look like. Can you go down to like a hourly chart there? And let's see what happened in the Tuesday, Wednesday London kill zones.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, shorts are just building, right? So shorts got relieved a little bit up here. Tuesday, it looks like
the 10th. So look at that. Yeah, so you can see, if you did a fib off of the highs back down to that double bottom that was put in last week through that London kill zone, they were obviously putting in a bottom in this thing. Fascinating. Huh.
Yeah, so I wanted to look and see what Ethereum was doing and who's leading the pack here. I always like to see which one broke out first.
Well, and that's the thing. I look at my Ethereum chart and it is uppy, but relative to Bitcoin, what does it look like?
Right. So 6:55 in the morning Eastern, there were about 1, 2, 3, so about 4 to 5 minutes long where price didn't do anything on Ethereum.
Wow,
and then it started to break out.
Wonder why why did that happen?
I don't know. Let's go see. So 6:53 on Bitcoin. Let's take a zoom in here.
Price like literally stopped there? That's bizarre.
It looks like it. I bet the trading desk came on and they're just like, all right, we're going to put a wall in between these two levels so we can accumulate our position. That would be my guess.
Yeah. And that's
Nice.
Bitcoin right there, same time period. Isn't that funny? Look how price just stopped there.
So this is 7 o'clock. This is 6:53 on Bitfinex. So it looks like price just kind of did nothing for a good 650.
So,
almost.
if you do happen to have a script that you would like to add to the site so people can, where did that come from? Did somebody just play the video over top? Was that you, Thomas?
No, I don't think so.
What is that? It says it closes at what? Wow, YouTube's really messing with us today, eh? Wow, isn't that weird? All right, well, you'll have to deal with Brian's ghost voices popping over the broadcast here. It's not coming from my end.
I don't know what just happened there. That's crazy. Okay, so we've got it done.
Big Brother does not want us to teach the people what's going on here.
Right? So it looks like 705 on Bitfinex is when the price broke out of that channel. So in this area here, if you were an institution, this is where you're like, I want to get out of my short, or I'm accumulating my long position. And you can see that the short positions started to unwind slowly as we started to go higher. Now,
well, that makes sense too.
You know, there's some noise here where shorts went up.
Yeah, just on that note, right? Julian had our stop on our hedge at like 69.50 or something. And if you zoom out, that was a resistance point. So actually, probably a lot of the smart traders were actually starting to reduce their shorts there on that event. So that's kind of cool that that data sort of validates that. You could see those shorts coming off there. That was Julian covering our short hedge. But look at that. Isn't that interesting? That is fascinating that price just literally stopped there.
I wish we could replay the order book. I would love if any of the exchanges could just let us go back. And TradingView might have this. If I don't know if Bitfinex syncs their order book with TradingView, but I remember being able to see order books. And if anyone's familiar with this process, if we can go back and see what the order books looked like during this 10, 15-minute time frame, it wouldn't surprise me to see price just get stuck in between these two areas because somebody was accumulating on a long position. And what I wanted to see here was Ethereum lead the breakout, and it doesn't look like it did. The breakout kind of happened.
Can you just click the overlay and throw a Bitcoin chart right on top of that?
Yeah, I just worry that, you know, since my scrolls take forever, that I would take a few minutes scrolling, but I can just switch back to here and we can see. So
you know, this might be something for the heavy scripters in the community. So they have the replay function that replays the growth and movement of the bars, which obviously behind all of that has to have the order book, right? So there's got to be some way to capture that, I would think.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, for me, Ethereum price started to break out of this channel at 702. So let's see what happened on Bitfinex at 702. I mean, this is, you know, nothing exciting. What really shows the breakout here is 705 on Bitcoin. So did Ethereum lead the breakout? I mean, according to this, yeah, but not by that much. But it's interesting data nonetheless to see that you're in this sideways channel, price isn't doing anything really, and Bitcoin also not doing anything, but Ethereum breaks out of its price channel before Bitcoin does. And I'd argue that at 705 is when Bitcoin broke out. So Ethereum gave you a 3-minute edge if you can snipe it and deduce what we deduced here. I think that's pretty difficult to do given the timing, but interesting data nonetheless here, especially with the shorts at all-time highs and the squeeze that happened prior to that. It's just cool stuff to keep in mind.
So, and you're going to get this, Thomas, but maybe just take a moment. Jacques Lamotte says, which script indicator is that they're using the funny candle colors? That is Jeremy's gift to us. Jeremy, do I have your script in here? I think that this is, well, we have Nazca projections, his whole page of scripts. So the candle colors for overbought and oversold readings. Was that the Three Musketeers, Jay? So maybe you can post that script for Jacques who's asking. But I think, Thomas, if you don't mind, can you just take a moment and talk a little bit about your proprietary indicator for this people, just so that they know what it is that they're looking at, and just we have the official word from you about what we have to be thinking about there, please.
So what was the exact? I don't see the question.
On YouTube, Jacques says, at Thomas, which script or indicator is it that with the funny candle color? So that's Jeremy's. And then he says, and that orange and yellow cocaine indicator. So can you just take a moment and just talk, you don't have to go into detail, but just, what's your blurb on the cocaine indicator, and what should people, think when they see that?
Right. So Brian covered the candle colors. Definitely reach out to Jeremy for that. That's an awesome script to use. As far as my indicator, the way that I use it is I look for M's and W's in it, and anything over the red I consider bullish, and anything under the red I consider bearish with the corresponding market structure. You can see here on the daily chart, we're finally breaking above the red. So with a market structure W, I still wait for another W to form on top of this red area, just to confirm that this is true before taking any other bullish positions. So that's the way that I use that.
Jacques, you just need to understand that's a proprietary indicator by Thomas, and he's just going to leave it at that. It's not shared on the community. Okay, so just wanted to clarify that. I've had a few people ask about that, and I just wanted to get the official word out, okay? So I hope that helps you, Jacques.
And I apologize, I can't share it with everyone. I signed my life away on that one.
Well, it's got to do what you got to do. Okay, so I probably horribly interrupted you again. I'm sorry, sir. Were you right in the middle of a thought there?
Yeah, we were just talking about the easiest way to make $1 million in 30 seconds.
Oh, cool. Hey, yeah, and of course Brian interrupts. What an idiot.
No, I finished. The thought was finished. It was just trying to see which broke out first, and Ethereum broke out 3 minutes earlier than.
And you're still, I mean, me personally, I look at something like this sub, and I love the look of this chart. I mean, it's just so pretty. It's so poetic. I look at Ethereum, and no offense to the community, but I don't think this is the prettiest of bottoms. We're just like literally rallying straight up off of these lows versus USD. I don't know. Candle bodies, is that actually a W? If you are interested in Ethereum, me personally, I would be drawing fibs here, and I would be hunting reload zones on a serious test of these lows. Right back, probably. Interestingly enough, there is the original railroad tracks. These tails look kind of suspicious. I don't know whether I really feel comfortable calling a bottom on Ethereum. It's just me. I did notice we did an awesome trade on, and really, of the two, geez, I sure like the look of this bottom. That looks a lot more solid on ETC. But it was interesting, even, Cripple, and Cripple's, the volume's coming in on Cripple too. So it is interesting to see that we've got a trendline breakout and a nice double bottom there on Cripple. So we may see him pop a bit, but you go right across the board. I wanted to mention our big hairy ones trade. Does everybody see why we call this a big hairy ones trade? It's back in the money now. And really, had you taken this trade, really, there was nothing for you to do. But if you watch this and gone, well, we're bids at gaps, or I'll wait for the double bottom, or I'll wait for a reload zone within reload zone. A great example of a market bottoming. This is just textbook technical trading 101, just absolute textbook. So we can see them all come in, and as I had said, I went and grabbed some of this OMG, and it was interesting that you made reference to the order book, because when I was working this order last night, it was clearly evident somebody had decided that there was going to be a bottom here, because I go and I look at my order book, and I don't know whether this is it. Yeah, it is it. When I was working my order last night, and I think, and I don't know about this new user interface, gives you a headache. I was working my bid down in here. I was trying to get in off this double bottom, And it was fascinating to watch the order book because somebody had parked like 31,000 coins. And I mean, you can see the order book, right? 124, 125 kind of thing. Yeah, let's click on that. And somebody had parked on the buy side like 35,000 coin. Look, you can see there's a guy here who's running the book at 1168, right? He's got 11,600. Whoops, where is he? 11,680. Somebody had literally parked at my order because I was trying to get in at like 960 or so down in here. And somebody was literally parked an order for 31,000 coins. And they were just working the market up. It was quite remarkable to watch. I haven't seen that kind of, they're working the order book and the, they're basically pushing price. I haven't seen that kind of behavior in a while. And we were very fortunate to get our fill there last night. Just that's looking like just a fucking sick trade now, eh? So I'm happy that I'm in on a few of these breakouts too. So feeling pretty good. All right, that is top of the hour. Any closing thoughts? OKCoin now is waiving all fees to try and get people to come back to OKCoin.
That was. Oh, I'm surprised they published that 15 hours ago. I thought they released that last week.
What does that say? April 1st? Oh, was that an April Fool's joke?
No, so this was because of what happened on the exchange. And that free fee trading is supposed to be over now.
Well, so, if anything, looking back now, and really this has got to be journal shit, guys. Do you now see... You liquidate me, I liquidate myself, as now was the catalyst. That is incredibly powerful journal stuff, guys. You got to learn that this is the way markets work. But Richard Hart never cried. Okay, well, I'm not sure about him. But I hope you can all appreciate that. I think that OKCoin was the catalyst. And just that should be really, really good market education for everybody. Seriously. Okay, I think we did pretty good. Thank you very much, Grim. Always a pleasure and a privilege to hear from you. Looks like he's gone. So if you do watch this later on, totally appreciate it. Thank you, Benjamin, for all the great scripting work that you do. I see you posted a couple more scripts. And if there are any other scripts that you would like to have added to the library, Benjamin or Jeremy, please just let me know. I've put Jeremy's link to his scripting page, Nazca Projections, on the site. And Jeremy and Benjamin, if you want me to put links to GitHub and stuff like that, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that. Thank you, Thomas, for bringing it to the house every day. Got to tell, Thomas and I were mentioning this before we start the program. Since we've done this sort of co-host kind of platform program for you guys, I've noticed myself, my trading is getting a lot sharper. Thomas, I think, what do you think? Do you think your trading's getting a bit sharper?
Yeah, my percentages have gone up tremendously. I haven't traded like this ever. I think it's just to have to focus on the market this intensely to make sure that we give the right information, and any setups that I would take now, I almost feel responsible for anyone who would take the same setup as me. So I want to make sure that anything that I say here, you make money on. And that to me has made me a more precise trader and has eliminated a lot of crummy trades that I used to take just because I was forcing them to come in. And now I'm not doing that anymore. And there's just way more winning trades that I'm taking than I've ever had before.
Excellent. Great to hear. So is that just doing our show is paying dividends just in itself. So I hope all of you are also sharpening up your toolkit, becoming better traders. That's the whole point of this exercise. You're getting good value. Hopefully somebody learned something today. I think every day we bring something to the table. And PMA for the win. Really the whole point of this, probably the thing I want to leave off with you guys, And it's Brian getting all, verklempt again. Oh, good, better be careful. Don't want to lose it. But people just keep telling me on a daily basis that what we're doing is working and it's helping them. I retweeted this gentleman's comment to me this morning. I get this on a daily basis. You all need to understand this is exactly why I'm doing this. We're on a mission to change the world, and we're doing it one small individual at a time. I even told the level oneers yesterday, because it was their final class yesterday. I said, you now have a responsibility. Kind of like what Thomas is saying. I have to. I in a weird sort of way, I have like a moral responsibility not to just fuck around here anymore. In a weird sort of way, all you, past level 1 graduates, current level 1ers getting ready to pass the exam. Obviously, Thomas and Grim, you can see it in them. In a weird sort of way, where you have a funny responsibility on your shoulders now to help change this world and to make it a better place. And I, for one, am just tickled pink that I'm even part of this experience. This is a special pocket in time and space. Take advantage of it. Become part of the community if you can, if you'd like to. Share. Help your fellow human. We don't need to take advantage of each other. We can all work together and really go out and do great things. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to my production partners, Thomas, Grim, here, everybody who participates on the site. Thank you to Sjord and Julian, working diligently on the back end. Probably a heads up for everybody. This weekend's broiler chicken show, Julian has said that he would like to do a presentation on his model for you, so keep your eyes open for that through the weekend. But just go out and just be emissaries of good behavior. That's what we do here, day in, day out, and it's just a real pleasure and a treat for me to be at the head of all this. It's remarkable. It really is. So, have yourselves a great day, everybody. Play from a position of strength. Try and take advantage of this excellent market state. I think there's lots and lots of money for everybody to make, but more importantly, we can also be really good humans while we're at it. So have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye.